Hi, friends. Good evening. Am I audible? Good evening, friends. Am I audible? Good evening, friends. Thank you, Rians. I will repeat again. That might not be the right thing to do. And hence, my proposal is, let's wait for a minute more. Then we will go ahead with our discussion. Hi, Vinayak, Harsh, Gurvi. Good evening and welcome to this Dr.HR live session for Dr. Patil Institute in Mumbai. Hi Ashish, Shraddha, Harsh. Very good evening. Thank you, Harsh. I'm doing good. Thanks for asking. I hope all of you are really doing good. Just curious to know, are you back in your campus or learning happening, everything happening online? Good evening, Ruchika, Pranjal, and all my friends from DY Patil Management Institute. Hi, Vinayak. Good. We have 57 people right now. Maybe 1 minute more, and then we will have a sizable number. We can go ahead and have a discussion. Please be little patience. Gautam, Tejas, Dhruv, very good evening. Akanksha, Anushka, Arya, Mahesh, good evening and welcome to Dr. HR live stream, friends. Fantastic. Now, I think we should go ahead and have our discussion started. So, friends, my name is Anil. Full name is Anil Kumar Misra. Misra without an H. So it's MISRA. And I'm an HR practitioner. It's been more than 24 years. I've been practicing HR all through different sectors. God has been very kind. I have not repeated any specific sector. Started my career with manufacturing, worked with companies like Denso, Haryana, and Enorcom. Brilliant companies. My personal takeaway out of those companies were, typically, if you want to learn manufacturing practices, there cannot be a better sector than manufacturing. Yeah, more specifically, your 5S, Kanban, Kaizen, TQM, quality circles, all those manufacturing practices that we hear about. If you genuinely want to learn, then best sector would be manufacturing. Then I moved to hospitality sector. And this time, Oberoi Group of Hotels and Resorts. First assignment was in Chennai, called Trident Hilton Chennai. Then I subsequently moved to a property in Jaipur called the Oberoi Rajvilas, which even today, as per Condé Nast, features amongst world's top 5 hotel. So in hospitality sector, my personal favorite, or probably the takeaway was, unlike manufacturing, here you do not have a product life cycle. If your guest is happy, you get feedback right then and there. So guest centricity or customer centricity, how everything that you do revolves around that, was my biggest takeaway. Then joined IT services company That time it was called Patni Computers. Today, that company does not exist because that got acquired by iGate, and subsequently, iGate got acquired by Capgemini. So all my friends who chose to stay in the company are now part of Capgemini. IT services, and then my next assignment was with a UK retail giant called Tesco, yeah, in Bangalore. Then my first company where I took up CHRO, Chief Human Resource Officer, Chief People Officer assignment was with a company called Just Dial. Immediately when they went public, that is when the promoters, they thought that they need a professional CHRO, and that's how I joined their game. Brilliant example experience again, both in Mumbai, then moved to Bangalore. Then I joined a company called Fidelity National Financial as CHRO. This is the New York Stock Exchange listed company, Fortune 500 company, and my role was to drive the entire strategic people agenda for Fidelity. And then my current company called Magic Bricks. It's been glorious 4 years. I've been working with Magic Bricks as the Chief Human Resource Officer. And again, in my current role, I'm accountable for driving the entire strategic people agenda for Magic Bricks. Now, why did I take you through all my career trajectory? Because today's theme is leadership learning lessons. So, in my 24 years, what are some of the critical learning, along with, if we all are going through some unprecedented time right now, during this time, some of the learnings that I wish to share with my student friends from Dr. D.Y. Patil Institute, Mumbai. Now, but I believe initial 30 to 40 minutes, let's discuss, and post that I would open up. The live chat is on. Post that, feel free to ask me questions. I'll try and answer your questions. So we'll have a Q&A session as well. Now, before we get into the detail, my style of dealing with a topic, or probably keeping all of you engaged, is I would be asking you a lot of questions. Yeah, and probably few difficult questions with an intent to stimulate thought process, so that by end of the day, end of this 45 minutes, 1 hour kind of a session, there are takeaways for both of us. I learned in the process, and if each one of you feel that there are at least 2 takeaways for each one of you, then probably spending 1 hour on a Friday evening is equally beneficial for both of us. That's what good looks like. So with that preamble, let me start asking you a question. Typically, friends, be it manufacturing or service sector, there are few resources all of us need to have. Yeah, and the resources in management parlance are popularly called 5 M's, right? Why they are called 5M? Because everything starts with M. Men. Don't worry. Men includes both men and women. It's called human resources. M is men, material, method, market, and money. These are the 5M. Men, material, method, market, and money. These are the 5 M's, or popularly called resources of management. These are the stuff that you got to have if you want to run a business. And this is industry agnostic. Be it in manufacturing, be it in service sector, you got to have those 5 M's in the form of resources. This is something which we all are aware. And in that context, we also have come across statements which says people are an organization's biggest asset, or human resources or people are an organization's biggest asset. Now, my question to Anay, Divyanshu, Utkarsh, and rest of my friends from Dr. D.Y. Patil is, how many of you have heard about the statement which says people are an organization's biggest asset? Live chat is on. Let me know how many of you have, or have you heard of the statement which says people are an organization's biggest asset. Yeah. Friends, I'm waiting for your response. Question is very simple. Have you heard the statement, people are an organization's biggest asset? Thank you, Vinayak, for that response. I'm glad you heard about the statement. Yeah. Gurbi also is saying, Pritish also is saying, brilliant. But that's not my actual question. My actual question is, what follows now? How many of you truly believe, if you have heard the line, the statement which says people are an organization's biggest asset, how many of you truly believe in that statement? How many of you believe the statement is true? Ayushi, great to know that you heard of it, but do you believe in the statement? Do I have any friends who have heard and they believe in the statement that people are an organization's biggest asset? Great. So Ayushi again says, yes, she has heard of the statement and she believes in this. Sorry, friends, as an HR practitioner, you might not like me, what I'm going to say, but would you? How would you take it if I say wrong? People are not an organization's biggest asset. Yeah, you can say, what the hell? This guy is an HR practitioner. He says he has 24 years of experience. He's a CHRO. How can he say that, people are not an organization's biggest asset? Here are my 2 points to defend. Number one, every organization has got a process called annual performance appraisal process. And just like academia, what you and I have gone through in our 10th, in our 12th, there are some people who would pass out in first division. There are few people who will pass out in second, and some people also would fail. Just in the same manner, friends, in corporate world also, every organization has got an annual performance appraisal process, wherein in the process we try and identify who are our top talent in terms of performance, who are our middle of the road, and who are our bottom performers. Yeah. Then what happens? Then organization provides an opportunity to people who struggle with performance, who are poor performers, and we try to put them into a process which is called PIP. And PIP stands for Performance Improvement Plan. It's like giving somebody an opportunity to improve their performance level. Then what happens? Even after giving this opportunity, which is typically for 3 months, if there is no performance improvement, what follows is then the organization, the managers try identify ways out or ways of weeding out this talent, or probably those guys are moved out of an organization. Why? Because they were given a performance opportunity, but still there is no improvement in the performance. And you are a business organization, not a charitable one. Yeah, you want everybody to contribute, and people who struggle with performance, they are asked to go. And hence, my question to you, friends, if people are an organization's asset, would you allow your assets to move out of company? Answer is no. Nobody wants to move their assets out. Okay? That's my argument number one. Argument number two. During this unprecedented time, the COVID-19 situation, we all are aware there are plenty of job losses all around us. And the people who were more prone to job losses during this time is people who are not great in terms of performance level, people who are not great in terms of their opportunity to get on to the next level, people who are not great with regard to their learnability, yeah, and so on and so forth. And they were prone to job losses. And again, the same question, if people are your assets, would you allow them to go out? When your chips were down, when we face a hurdle, would you allow our people, our assets to move out? No, right? And hence, I changed the statement, and that's my learning number one, which I want to share with all my student friends of Dr. D.I. Patil. And the change statement is, okay, philosophically it sounds good. I also tend to believe that, but the reality, that's the principle, but the practice is in business organization is people are not an organization's biggest asset, good people are. Now you can say, Anil, people are not an organization's asset, but good people are an organization's asset. Okay, makes sense. But how would you define good? Here are my inputs. Good in terms of consistent level of high performance. Good in terms of potential to grow. Good in terms of embracing change. Good in terms of alignment of thoughts. Good in terms of right kind of an approach. Good in terms of learnability cycle. Yeah, constantly if you focus and if you are good on all those parameters, if you are agile, if you have fantastic approach, attitude, if you have the ability to take people along, then that character, that characteristics, those attributes would always make you a winner, and you would be all the time staying relevant irrespective of the times that we go through. That's number one learning. I want you to realize that people are not, but good people are in business organization. And good means we just discussed what it includes. I want you to be very, very clear, and that is the fundamental. Number two, okay, we all have also come across statements which says this is the new normal. Yeah. As a practitioner, I do not believe in I do not believe there is anything called new normal. Why? Because what we believe is a new normal now, organization and individual would find out ways to deal with the problem. Till the time you have a larger crisis, this would remain as the new normal. Yeah? And the moment you say new normal, everybody believes, or it strikes in our mind that as if this is static. This is not static. Our methods of dealing with a crisis is not static. It will be evolving. It is dynamic. Why I'm saying what I'm saying? Is this the only crisis that we are facing? No. We have seen bigger crises like 2008 Great Recession. Today it is COVID-19. There is no guarantee tomorrow there will not be any other crisis. There will be a crisis even in future. Hopefully not in the form of a pandemic, but there would be crisis. These are external factors on which absolutely we have got no control. What we can do is, these are external. What we can do to ourselves, what we need to do in order to stay relevant in all times is what we got to be discussing. I am glad all of you are part of a professional course at a professional institute like Dr. D.Y. Patil, which is a big brand in Maharashtra at least. I'm aware because I lived there, I worked there on two of my stints, both in Patni Computers as well as during my Just Dial stint. Good news is you are already on a right track. Now, in that context, for professionals, for anybody in a situation, typical situation, in any crisis, whenever it hits us, there are only two alternates way of reacting to that or behaving to a specific situation. One is called fight, the other one is called flight. Now let me try and give you an example. Gurvi, Ayushi, Ane, these are the examples. Assume that you are walking in a deserted lane all alone in Mumbai, and you are being chased by a stray dog, and you are very, very fearful of dogs, stray dogs, and you are alone, you are with no one in that lane, absolutely nobody is there, but a stray dog chases you. What would you do? Only the options are two. Either run as fast as possible to get out of the situation, or stand still pick up a stone, pick up a stick, try to scare the stray dog away. Yeah, these are only the two ways you have. Now, running out of a situation is what we call flight. Standing there fighting it out is called fight. So these are the two options of fight and flight. And friends, we all are going to see plenty of challenges in our life, plenty of crises in our life. For a professional like you and I, flight is not an option. We will have to fight out. The more we develop competencies, systems, processes, attitude, mindset around fighting a situation, the better are our chances of being successful. That's my learning number 2, which I wanted to pass on to you. Flight is not an option. There has been in the past. We are going through a crisis. In future also there will be crisis. What would truly, the true test of an individual's character, a professional's character, is to what extent you fight it out and you emerge victorious out of a situation, out of a crisis. Yeah? The more you take it head on, the better are your chances of survival and getting excelled in a situation. Okay, let me take a pause here. Third thing, what I have learned during this unprecedented time is, as an CHRO, as a practitioner, is every situation is very, very stressful. Take, for example, the COVID-19 situation. Unprecedented. In our lifetime, we have not seen something like this. Right? But any stressful situation teaches you to innovate, come out with creative ideas. Yeah? For example, this crisis is a bane for some and is a boon for some other sector. For example, sectors like aviation, hospitality, hotels, restaurants, bars, manufacturing industry, they were severely impacted. On the contrary, the situation is same. And sectors like education technology, sectors like healthcare, sectors like e-commerce, grocery delivery, these are the sectors who have seen significant improvement. Situation remains the same. Yeah. So during this time, what are some of the workplace trends that we have seen? Workplace trends in terms of flexibility. Number 1 is workplace flexibility. And I'm hinting at a concept called work from home. Yeah. I hate to call it work from home. For me, it's why work from home? In a high performance driven culture, in a meritocratic setup, what matters is what has been an individual's net value addition to a company. Not necessarily whether you have punched in 8 hours, 10 hours, going to office or not. It's a performance, high performance driven company. Modern organizations, learning organizations, they don't want to be dogmatic. They don't want to watch out if you're 8 hours, 10 hours working or not. So long as you fulfill the commitment objective in terms of your KRA, that should suffice. And hence, I want to call it not work from home, but work from anywhere is the new reality. Work meaning does not matter even if you are operating from the beautiful beaches of Goa. So long as you achieve your target, that should suffice. And organizations are going to be absolutely fine. Why I'm saying work from home? Because in the past also, before pre-COVID, we have had situations and policies called work from home. But the mindset has definitely changed during this time. Meaning, people or leaders used to think work from home makes a lot of sense for IT folks, engineers, yeah, product and tech guys. Now, during this time, when we all were forced to follow lockdown measures, it changed the mindset of leaders. And when it comes to workplace productivity, everybody has contributed and everybody has proved all those thought processes wrong. When it comes to workplace productivity, everybody was equally good. And hence, that's a lot of benefit for both the parties involved, both the employees as well as for the company. And there are numerous benefits. But since I'm dealing with student community, let me also try and give few inputs. For easy understanding of students, I say, as I said, there are plenty of benefits. But for easy remembering all the benefits of work from home, work from anywhere, I call it, and there is an acronym called STOP, STOP, that captures wonderfully well the benefits of work from home or work from anywhere. In STOP mnemonic, the first one is S, and S stands for social distancing. And friends, if the WHO report got to be believed, the virus is here to stay. And only way out for people like you and I is to peacefully coexist with the virus. And the way out for that is to maintain social distancing and to wear mask. We all are aware. Friends, when we provide workplace flexibility, work from anywhere or work from home, what it means is you can maintain social distancing. You are not going to any crowded places. And hence, that's a win-win proposition for both the parties. Organization need not spend on other stuff. Yeah, it's less expensive for companies, and it's a very, very flexibility option for employees. And hence, I believe it is here to stay. That's S, social distancing. T is for the travel time. It's a proven fact, irrespective of the city that you live in, roughly on an average 15 to 25% of our time, effective time that we spend while commuting from home to office and office to back home. And that takes a toll on our productivity level, on our energy level. It drains us. And hence, if it is work from home, you don't need to commute. And organizations don't need to invest on the transportation cost. So it's a win-win proposition, and hence this flexibility is likely to gain even further momentum. O is for, in the stop, O is for office space. Gone are those days where organizations would be boasting up by saying, hey, I have a swanky campus of 40 acres. No, during difficult time, organizations don't want to invest on fixed assets. Yeah, it's very, very important. And hence, the trend that we are seeing is co-working spaces, office occupancy, organizations' investment in that would drastically get reduced. And it's a win-win proposition. Organizations don't need to put in money there. They can opt for co-working spaces, which is super, super cheaper in compared to investing in your own facility. And hence, win-win proposition. P is for pollution level. Think of people who are impacted with asthmatic attack, young kids, old people. In any city, they are grappling with the issue of pollution. The pandemic has taught us how to peacefully coexist and how to also take or be a little more concerned about the environment. Yeah, that's a beautiful stuff that has taught us. And hence, I believe for the above reason, stop mnemonic, this workplace flexibility is here to stay. Number two trend, I believe at least for the next 12 months, the overall hiring activity for full-time employees is going to see a drastic reduction. Yeah, meaning less number of full-time opportunities would be there available in the market. And this is not industry agnostic. In some industry, some organization specific sector, there might be more hiring. In some sector, it might be less. But by and large, there would be a reduction in the employment opportunities, at least for the next 12 months, because everybody is waiting and watching how things unfold. Yeah. Now, what it means, I said, I'm an eternal optimist, and hence I tend to believe any difficult situation is also a great opportunity for an individual, for an organization to innovate. And what it means is this kind of a crisis would allow us, or a parallel economy called gig economy. What is this gig economy? Who are these gig workers? These are on-call service people. You are a subject matter expert, not married to a specific company. But, or the simplistic example would be, look at Amazon delivery guys. Or look at Flipkart delivery guys. Look at Uber, Ola drivers, not employed full time. Driving is the skill. So on their free will, they can go and take care of people, and they earn their fee. And these are the examples of blue collar. Or probably you want your AC to be repaired. What do? You just dial, or probably you talk to urban company, engineers, technicians come, they rectify, then they move out. This is the reality. In blue collar, in white collar, let it be merger and acquisition specialist, talent acquisition head, or a digital marketing expert, or a data scientist, they are also available in the market as gig workers. And beautiful is, India already features amongst world's top 3 nations who are extensively using gig workers. After US and China, number 3rd is India. Yeah. And it's also estimated that another 5 million people are likely to join. Now, what it means to student community, I hope and pray that all of you should get job of your choice. But during difficult time, don't be super choosy. Whatever opportunity you get, try and grab it with both hands. That will really help you out. Yeah. And when times are better, then you can encash these months or years of experience on your life project or your internship or on your practical experience. Yeah. So that is very, very important. Third thing, trend. What is changing? Even the hiring process is going through a change. Yeah. In typical time, normal time, we would visit your campus, we would hire people, we will meet up in person, shake hand, and continue with our process. When everybody is locked down, following lockdown measures, and when this work from home kind of a flexibility is prevailing, then how we do the hiring process? Today, the shortlisting of profile happens through telephonic interview. If shortlisted, in the next step, then video conferencing is the mode through which we take interviews and we roll out offer. But mind you, friends, the competencies required in a face-to-face interview versus a telephonic interview versus a virtual or video kind of a mode, they all are different. So my question to you is, how well are you prepared? The more you prepare, stand in front of mirror, try, practice it. The more you do, the better you are prepared. Because in voice-based call, it is about the tonality, the flow of thought, your logic, the voice pitch, etc., and clarity of speech. All of that is very, very important. Of course, along with the content. In a video thing, it's about the body language, the gestures, the shoulder movement, your eye contact, lot many other stuff. It requires definitely a degree of practice if this is going to be the new way of dealing with people. Yeah, very, very important. I'm glad all of us are now confined to our hometowns. Learning process, the good thing is learning process has not stopped for all of us. We are learning, but the mode of learning has become virtual. So the beauty is we have plenty of time at our disposal. I want you to pick up a specific skill which would help you out in terms of acquiring a new skill, be it maybe design thinking, be it problem solving approach, be it probably let's say growth mindset related topic, or be it in analytics and predictive modeling. Anything which is in your line which will give you a competitive advantage. Why? Because end of the day, Abhas, Ayushi, Utkarsh, the question that you need to ask yourself is, who is your competition? Yeah, your competition in a digitally connected world is everybody except you. All the people who are going to pass out from India, China, US, Australia, Malaysia, so on and so forth. Yeah, because you are competing against everybody. Now, people also ask this question, and I want you to ask this question. I want to ask you guys this question. Why should anybody hire you? When you compete in a larger setup, why should anybody hire you? It's a difficult question to answer. Meaning, organizations want to understand what is so unique about you, how the organization is going to get benefited. If you're just one more candidate in that pool of candidate that we already have, then not probably good enough. And when you ask this difficult question, why should anybody hire you? Please introspect and try and find out what are you good at? What is your strength? You can say, hey, Anil, that's a good question, but are there any tools by which I can find out what I am good at? Number one, you by now are definitely aware what you are good at. You want to vet it with other people. There are, Gallup Strength Finder. You have 360-degree feedback. You have Johari window, and there are so many other options available which would help you out in identifying what are you good at. Understand what are you good at understanding that aspect is very, very important. Once you have understood that piece, then try and create something which will help you out in visibility. Because during this time, we have seen a competency called personal branding and networking skill has gained significant importance. If you are good at this, the better are your choices. Why? Because learning number 4 is, end of the day, talent would be a winner. Irrespective of the times that we go through, if you are the right kind of a talent, if you are competent enough, irrespective of the time, meaning even during April, May, June, when we all were following lockdown, that time also we were hiring people. Yeah, hiring process has not stopped. And hence the learning for me is talent continues to be a winner and will always be a winner. But we need to create that visibility for ourselves, how we are unique. If you can establish that, there would not be dearth of job. Yeah, that's very, very important. Networking skill is equally important. Problem solving, the world is full of problems. Do you have the ability to resolve the problem? Yeah, maybe through an app, maybe through some other mode is very, very important. Yeah, growth mindset, ability to take people along. We have plenty of data available all around us. Do you have the ability to go for predictive modeling or some sort of an analytics? Can you derive some insights out of the data and which is going to help the organization? If yes, that's your competitive advantage. Please do focus on this thing and definitely you would be a winner. I thank you guys for your time and patience. It's already 38 minutes. I wanted to discuss this for about 40 minutes, followed with Q&A. And it's time for us to go for question and answer. Ask me as many questions as you want to ask. The more difficult, the better it is. Also, friends, please let me know how did you find the session as of now. Whatever we discussed, did you get at least 1 or 2 key takeaways out of the session? Was it useful? Please let me know how was this. And yes, in the meantime, while you do that or while you type in the question, I also wanted to let you know 4 months back, I started this YouTube channel called Dr.HR with an intent to share the practical nuances of managing people at work. Yeah. And why? Because also I felt that my saying 24 years of practice in HR is meaningless if I'm not able to help young minds like you with practical tips around what is that currently we are going through in corporate world and how should you be preparing. Yeah, with that intent I created absolutely free of cost. There are quite interesting videos. I believe in 4 months I have created some 50 videos. Go through that on interviewing skill, on multiple, on of course on gig economy, on HR related aspect. There are interesting videos. There are HR satires also, few videos we have created. So go through that. Hopefully that will help you out in understanding the process. And in the meantime, if you also like the content there, would request you to give me some sort of a motivation by subscribing to Dr.HR channel. Please do subscribe and I'll be happy. And that's how we would stay in connect. and you can ensure your learning process. So friends, now it's question and answer time. Pritish is asking, there has been reports that employees are getting more stressed out by working from home. How organizations plan to handle such problem? Brilliant question, Pritish. I'm glad you asked this. True. Any change process that we go through, it is bound to create some sort of stress, unpleasant situation. For example, I'll tell you some of the practical thing that I came across. When you're working from home, the mindset of few managers, I'm not broad basing this issue, but few managers, they feel that, hey, what is work from home? You are on a picnic, paid picnic. That's also a mindset, if I can be a hardcore critic. And hence, anytime I feel like I can give you a call, no, you can't do that. And it's up, hey, I tried reaching out to XYZ, but they didn't pick up my call. Probably, they were not working. Wrong assumption. It is possible that probably it's a lunch break. You want to have a meal with your family. That's absolutely fine. And people assume that it's no longer 8 hours or 10 hours. It's literally 24 hours. Yeah. That has brought in plenty of stress. Some manager insisted, no, you got to be logging in and your video mode got to be on, and so on and so forth. I heard about all those scary stories. And definitely, when it is working from home, you have a family to take care of. You have lot many other stuff, and then not necessarily everybody is blessed with a bandwidth, internet bandwidth, a separate office space, all of that, and that adds on to this stress level. What organizations have done is, there is something called employee connect, employee communication. Compassion is all about empathizing, putting yourself in the shoe. If you do that, and last one is about catharsis. Catharsis meaning allowing people to vent out their angst. Their anger is very, very good for mental health. Suppressing is not good for mental health. And these are, and a lot of coaching, counseling, and handholding, because this is a new system for most of the people. And any change management system requires certain degree of handholding, certain degree of process time it will go through, right? And hence, coaching, counseling, communicating, catharsis, hearing them out, and allowing them some privacy is very important. And organizations, there are plenty of interesting cases. And organizations also have tied up with some counseling agents. What they do is, these are psychologists, they reach out to employees, and that calms down or improves. Friends? Great. So if there are no questions, I thank you for your patience. All the very best. Let your learning never stop, and feel free to reach out to me. I'm available on LinkedIn, Anil Kumar Misra. And this is my YouTube channel. Every week I post one video. One video will come in today evening. So stay connected. Please do subscribe to Dr.HR, and we will learn together. Yeah. Stay positive and test negative. Thank you so very much. Bye-bye.